Write a function, compress, that takes in a string and prints the following pattern. So here, from AAAA, BB, and CC, we are going to get A4, B2, and C2. So here's how this works. There are 4 A's in a row, so we compress this into A4. And here there are 2 B's in a row, so we compress this into B2. And here there are 2 C's in a row, so we compress this into C2. So here we assume that there are only alphabets in the string, and same alphabets which are apart are considered to be in different groups. So this is what this means. So here there's going to be A4, there's going to be B3, there's going to be C2, and there's going to be A2. So here notice that A4 and A2 are separate groups, even though they are both A. So lastly, we have AB, AB, and this will simply translate to A1, B1, A1, and B1. So do pause this video and take some time to give this a go before taking a look at the answer. So before we jump right into writing the code, let's figure out how this will work. So here, let's start with AA, AA, BBB, CC, and AA. So here, we might need to keep track of 2 variables. One is current character. So this one will start as A, and a number N. So this will start as 0. So here, we take a look at the first A, and now current is equals to A, and N is equals to 1 because we plus 1 to current. And next, we go on to the second A. So here, current doesn't change, but N becomes 2. And so when we come here, N becomes 3. And when we come here, N becomes 4. And when we go to B, current changes. Current is equals to B now. And once again, N is equals to 1. So at this point, we know that there's going to be an A4. So next, we move on to the next B, and B remains the same, and N is equals to 2. And next, N is equals to 3. And afterwards, we have C. So current is different now. So once again, we change current to C, and N is equals to 1. And we take this portion, and we add it to the back of our string. So we have B3. And afterwards, C, N is 1. And we have C, N is equals to 2. And when we go to A, this goes to the back of our string. And here we have current equals to A, and N is equals to 1. And afterwards, we have N is equals to 2. And since there's nothing else, we have to do this manually at the end. So with this in mind, let's attempt to write our function. So firstly, we define compress, and we take in a string with a colon, and here we begin to write our function body. So here we need to keep track of current, and N is equals to 0. And also, we also need to keep track of our resultant string. So let's call it out. So for ch character in string, I'm going to print ch. So first, let's try to get the correct values of current and N. So here, if current is the same as ch, we simply add 1 to N. However, if they are not the same, we will replace current with ch, and N will be reset to 1. So here, let's check out our numbers. So ch, current, and N. And here I'm going to compress AAAA, BBB, CC, and AA. So let's run this. And here we have A1, A2, A3, A4, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, A1, and A2. So this is correct. So next, we just need to figure out how to add these numbers to out. And this will only happen if current is different from our character, which will happen here. So here, out will plus equals to current plus N. But since N is an integer, we need to add a stir here. And so, let's comment out the print. And finally, let's also return out. And now let's run it and let's see what happens. And here we have 0, A4, B3, and C2. So here notice that we have an additional 0 at the start of our string, and our A2 at the end is actually missing. So at first, current is nothing and n is 0. So when we go to the very first character, this actually happens. And when this runs, out is now an empty string followed by a 0, and that's why we have this 0 here. So in this case, we can actually put this in an if statement. So here, if current is not equals to empty string, and only then we add whatever is here into out. So let's run this again, and our 0 should be gone. And next, our A2 is missing. And this is because this line of code only happens if our current is different from CH. And at the end of our string, there's going to be no difference. So for this last iteration, we have to do it manually. So here, out plus equals to current plus string n. And so let's run this once again. And we will have A4, B3, C2, and A2. So let's test this on the other two examples. And let's run this. And we have A4, B2, C2, A4, B3, C2, A2, and A1, B1, A1, B1. So these are the correct answers. So here we have successfully solved this function. So once again, thanks for watching, and hopefully this was clear and easy to understand. See you in the next one.